What is good? It is your boy Pablo Gray, and we are back with another reaction video. Today we got a clip from CBS News. The title of this clip: Polls show Americans learning towards Biden on issues that worry them. I'm going to assume that means leaning towards Biden on issues that worry them. Whoever's at CBS, whoever wrote this shit, you should fire him. Hire me. I could do a better job. But I'm letting you know now, like, that's probably not the best thing, because I'm gonna infiltrate your infrastructure, figure out all the corrupt shit you're doing, and expose it, and probably either take over your company or make sure it's destroyed. But anyway, yeah. So this title definitely sounds comical, because not once have I heard Joe Biden give a solution to any of the U.S. issues. And all of the time he spoke since the beginning of this pandemic, I have not heard this man speak on a solution. You just been speaking on what the fuck Trump is doing or not doing. That's what almost everybody in the Democratic Party has been doing. I can't say everybody because I don't know everybody. But from what I've seen, yeah. But anyway, man, before we get into the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Help me beat the algorithm. Thank you for those who have. Appreciate it. Let's get into it.
Democratic nominee Joe Biden reacted forcefully to report that the president disparaged fallen soldiers, calling it sick and deplorable. The former vice president was scheduled to speak Friday on the latest jobs report.
So, before I even go on, the Atlantic report says President Trump referred to fallen U.S. service members as losers. Who are these people? Who is the Atlantic report? And when did he say this? Because I would love to know. Y'all be saying anything to make people hate this nigga Trump. For real, bro. And it's really sad that people are not seeing this. Y'all so caught up with being Democrat or Trump is racist. Y'all not even doing no research to figure out if any of this shit true. You just, if it sound bad because you already been hearing bad shit, you just gonna roll with it with your dumb ass. Go fucking Google something. Don't be stupid. Go Google something. I don't even trust Google. But I'm telling you, go Google some shit, bruh. Stop believing everything they fucking say. If it's something that you so heartily with, research it. If it's something that you don't agree with, research it. I don't care what the fuck it is. Research it. Damn. Let's go.
He also addressed the recent article in The Atlantic that claims President Trump referred to fallen U.S. service members as losers. The president has denied those claims. All right, O'Keefe reports.
An irate Joe Biden called the president's reported comments disgusting and un-American.
If these statements are true, the president should humbly apologize to every Gold Star mother and father and every Blue Star family that he's denigrated and insulted. Who the heck does he think he is?
Biden himself never served in uniform, but his late son Beau did.
When my son volunteered and joined the United States military as the Attorney General and went to Iraq for a year, he wasn't a sucker. And the servicemen and women he served with, particularly those who did not come home, were not losers.
The former vice president originally planned to focus Friday just on the economy, but said the president's remarks.
See, at this point, anybody watching this who's Democratic or shit, even if you questioning shit, Democratic or questioning shit, the moment you hear, oh, Biden says the president said this, go look up where the president said it. See if there's actual proof. See if you actually hear the president say it, see him say it. See if you can find that type of proof. If you can't, they're probably making the shit up. Believe it or not, they lie. Politicians do that.
Marks made him the closest he's come to losing his temper on the campaign trail.
There are a lot of people out there who are supporting you or inclined to not vote for the president who would say, why isn't Joe Biden angrier about all of this?
Getting down in the gutter like the president does, saying things that I'd be inclined if we were behind a barn somewhere, would be a different thing. But that's not the job of a president.
Mail-in voting kicked
behind a barn. What would you do? You was gonna fight him? Come on, Joe. Neither one of y'all probably can fight, but I definitely don't see you putting up a big fight, bro. You almost out of here, dog. I can't imagine that.
Kicked off in the key swing state of North Carolina on Friday with a record 600,000 absentee ballots sent out. The president has consistently attacked voting by mail, and this past week he's urged supporters who do vote by mail to also go to the polls in person.
Send in your early ballot and then go and make sure that ballot is tabulated or counted. And if it's not counted, vote.
I did a reaction video to this. I don't know if I put it out or if I'm going to, but I'm gonna just sum it up in case I don't end up putting it out. But the president said on here, I'm going to say, without him having a way for citizens to do what he suggested without going to jail, If he had a way to do that, where they don't go to jail, what he's saying is a really good idea. It will definitely let you know who the fuck is frauding. But because that isn't possible, I think the president should retract what he said. But it would let you know if they're fucking frauding at the polls with these send-in ballots. But let's get on to it.
How many times does this president have to suggest things and say things? Well, you all don't just write, he's a fraud.
For more on this, I want to bring in Philip Bump. He's a national correspondent for the Washington Post. Philip, talk about this issue and how much it might actually swing support from military families.
That's a great question. It's really something that's sort of hard to measure. I've been looking at polling. It's very hard to...
I'm going to hope that the military families are talking to the family member who's in the military, and those family members that are in the military are researching what their commander-in-chief actually said before you just assume that your commander-in-chief called you a loser. So, back to the video.
Actually poll active duty members of the military. It's much easier to poll veterans because there are a lot more of them that will be at home responding to calls. So it's hard to say in general. I think the real threat to President Trump here is that there will be a decreased enthusiasm for going out to vote for him. I don't think that anyone who is currently skeptical of President Trump will see this report as somehow confirming something they didn't already suspect about him. And I don't think people who are very enamored of President Trump will see this report and take it at face value. I think the real question is, will there be people who view this report and say, you know what, I'm just going to sit this one out because this is just too much of this sort of thing that I've been seeing. I think that's the real risk for the president.
Well, turnout is essential. Right. In your latest reporting for the Washington Post, titled "The Things Americans Are Most Worried About Are the Things They Prefer Biden to Deal With," you get into some of the things that may actually compel people to the polls. Can you tell us what some of these key issues are and why voters are leaning towards Biden on them?
So Gallup every month does a survey and asks Americans what they think is the most important issue facing the country. So back in 2016, when Trump was first running, the issues that came up a lot were things like terrorism, things like immigration. The economy was an issue back then as well. Now what we're seeing, though, is that people are primarily concerned, unsurprisingly, about the coronavirus pandemic. People are also far more concerned about race relations and racism than they are about, say, terrorism or immigration. The economy actually isn't as big an issue for people as you might expect, given the number of people that are out of work. And so because those core issues of Trump's from 2016 are pretty much off the table, plus the issues of people...
The reason why the issues now are because of race is because this was fucking planned. I said this 6 months ago. You're going to see nothing leading up into the election. You're going to see nothing but race baiting videos. Basically, niggas getting beat up by cops, or some type of racist act happening to black people or some minority. And what's going to happen is people are going to feel away about it. And that's all that's going to be on their mind because these videos are playing every day and they're getting constant news. And it's going to continue. That momentum of just playing nothing but racial fulfilled videos is going to keep going. That momentum just kept going and it's still going right now, which is why these issues have changed. That's why in 2016, the issues were immigration and whatever the fuck he else said. That's because that's what they were focusing on back then, leading up into the election. Now look what's happening leading up to the election. And now what's the worries? Yeah. They've been calling Trump a fucking racist since 2016. Of course they don't think he's going to be able to deal with racism. They think Joe Biden's going to do it. And they don't even know that this man Joe Biden has passed so many laws to put young minority men, I was going to say black men, but it's not just us. All types of minorities, putting them in jail over little bullshit. And Kamala Harris is just did this shit. Being in California. It didn't happen like a couple years ago. Bro, she was just doing this shit a couple months ago. But y'all not seeing that. Y'all want to vote blue for whatever fucking reason. I hope these polls is wrong.
People are focused on race relations, government. People are very worried about government politicians, which probably doesn't necessarily reflect a lot of confidence in the current president, but also, of course, the pandemic. Those are all things on which Joe Biden is seen as preferable by American voters, and generally by a pretty wide margin in polling.
Now, this is a national poll. Is that right, Philip?
That's right. This is national.
Yeah, right. So national polls, there's a lot of them that are actually showing right now that Biden has an advantage over President Trump. But you and I both know that national polls are not necessarily an accurate indicator when it comes to election day turnout. Can you talk to our voters a little bit more about what's happening in the swing states as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone learned in 2000 and relearned in 2016 that we need to look at what the electoral college is shaping up to be. And there, too, the news is generally pretty good for Joe Biden. After the conventions, there wasn't really much change in a lot of the core swing states, Pennsylvania, Ohio, things along those lines. And there, Biden generally has a pretty big advantage. We're seeing, leads of 6-7 points in states like Michigan and Wisconsin, which are larger than what Hillary Clinton enjoyed in 2016. Obviously, one of the challenges is those polls were not 100% accurate in 2016, which is why people are sort of...
Man, just look right. Do it even look like he got teeth in his mouth? Come on, bro. This like your grandpa without his dentures in, bro. Let's be real. Come on, man. How close is he to being in a wheelchair, bro? Come on, man.
Overestimating Hillary Clinton's chances. This time around, a lot of pollsters have sort of looked at what happened, tried to adjust what they're doing in order to accommodate who they expect to actually come and vote. So absolutely worth a grain of salt. But nonetheless, if you're one of these two candidates, you'd much rather be in Biden's position than Trump's.
One last question for you, Philip. Monday is Labor Day. Usually that's the big kickoff to the final stretch of the campaign. But we know that there's some voters who are already casting their ballots right now. Joe Biden has largely remained in his home in the state of Delaware over the past few months. The campaign says that he's going to actually start traveling again after Labor Day. I'm wondering, with the pandemic, with voters who are inclined towards Biden anyway being less likely to...
I wouldn't do that, Biden. I wouldn't do that, my guy. Don't travel. Aren't you one of them over 65? You in that range where it's probably not best for you to do much right now. But I'm gonna end the video right here. I ain't got much else to say on this. Don't be stupid and vote blue, man. Don't be that dumb. Excuse me. Don't be that stupid. I don't know what else to fucking say. The polls, there shouldn't be any reason they're leaning that way. That's good planning from the fucking Democrats, man. They've been planning this shit since the beginning of the year, and goddamn, it's working. Please don't be stupid. Don't be victim of the Democrats' plans, man. But other than that, I ain't got much else to say. Y'all like what I'm doing here, like, comment, subscribe, and share. I really do appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. I love y'all. Thank you. Pablo out.